Hello, everyone. Welcome. We are Community Outreach Navigators for Asian Americans Advancing Justice. My name is Chan.
And my name is Grace.
Advancing Justice provides a toll-free hotline in Chinese, which includes Mandarin and Cantonese, Tagalog, Korean, Thai, Vietnamese, and Hindi, where we offer free and low-cost legal advice from our staff of attorneys and networks of community lawyers. Our legal aid and services include domestic violence, family law, immigration, citizenship, employment law, discrimination, racism, and incidents of hate crime. However, as community navigators, we work on the Health Access Program, addressing the needs of diverse Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islander communities through outreach, through education, and advocacy. Our program strives to ensure that all Californians have equal access to various public benefits and resources, not just limited to health programs. So today we'll be going over some COVID-19 data guidelines, mask mandates, LAUSD mandates, and COVID testing. Lastly, we'll wrap up by discussing vaccine and booster shot updates. So current COVID-19 data and updates in LA County are that overall, COVID cases, deaths, and hospitalizations have all decreased compared to the Omicron spike back in January, which is good. Cases as of April 4th, there are 530 new cases reported. For testing, there is a 7-day daily average of 98,000 people who got tested, and total number of people who got tested remain at 11.7 million. The testing positivity rate, the 7-day daily average, is 0.81%. There are 8 new deaths reported as of April 4th. Total deaths remain at 31,000. For hospitalizations, there are current 287 current hospitalizations. And according to CDC February reports, unvaccinated adults ages 18 and older were 5 times more likely to be hospitalized compared to fully vaccinated adults. Next, we'll be going over the Health Resources and Services Administration's uninsured program. This part is very important for people who do not have health insurance. On April 5th, this past Tuesday, the Health and Resources and Services Administration's COVID-19 uninsured program stopped accepting claims for vaccination claims due to a lack of sufficient funds. And after March 22nd, no testing and treatment claims will be processed for payment. This means that health providers can no longer be reimbursed for testing and vaccinations for those individuals who are uninsured. However, local testing and vaccination sites may remain free and low cost to people regardless of insurance status. So please check in with your local provider site for information about the cost of service.
Okay, so we will be discussing the most current guidelines, such as mask mandates and LAUSD mandates. It's important to know that guidelines are continuously changing as COVID rates of change. Added resources become available and new research comes out. We will first discuss the most current guidelines, such as mask mandates and LAUSD, or LA Unified School District mandates for children. As of March 16th, 2022, masks are no longer required indoors except a few exceptions. The places you are required to wear a mask, regardless of the mandate, are public transit stations, terminals and airports, healthcare, emergency shelters, jails and prisons, homeless shelters, and long care facilities. Masks are still strongly recommended in indoor public settings, K-12 schools, and childhood facilities. Specifically for LA Unified School District, their mask mandate was lifted on March 23rd, 2022. However, masks will still be required for staff and students in early education centers and other early learner programs. Even though masks would not be required, LAUSD still must continue to offer KN95 or N95 masks to any employee who requests them. And they must also provide take-home COVID masks to all students and staff for baseline testing prior to the beginning of 2022 spring break, which is April 11th to 15th. Getting tested for COVID-19 is still important because if you are fully vaccinated, you may potentially transmit it to others, especially to those who are vulnerable to the coronavirus, such as children who are not yet eligible for a vaccine or immunocompromised. If you get tested or receive a positive result, you can let those who you've been in close contact know so they can also get tested and take preventive measures. And if some of you who are not familiar with how the home kit looks like, this is an example of how the box looks like. And in the box, you would usually find a test card or a test kit, swab, and then a test solution where you will be putting it into your test kits. And then each test is different, so you must follow the paper that is inside that has all the instructions. Next, I will be giving it to Chan.
Awesome. Next, we'll talk about vaccines. COVID-19 vaccines are available to everyone ages 5 years and older. It's important to know that the best vaccine is the one available to you. Your local vaccine clinic locations can be found at these websites right here. vaccinatelacounty.com and myturn.california.gov. Yeah, so these are the links where you can go to find your vaccine availability. Next, I want to go into a little bit more about vaccines in the U.S. Vaccines have greatly reduced and eliminated many infectious diseases that once routinely caused harm and even killed infants, children, and adults. Vaccines are actually one of the safest ways to protect your health. They can lower your chances of getting certain diseases. Vaccines lower your chance of spreading a disease. And getting a recommended vaccine will give you the best possible protection available against a number of serious diseases. Lastly, the Los Angeles City Council voted on Wednesday, March 30th, to end the COVID-19 vaccine verification requirement at many indoor businesses. For example, this allows the city to stop requiring people to show proof of full COVID-19 vaccinations to enter restaurants, bars, gyms, movie theaters, concert venues, convention centers, card rooms, play areas, museums, spas, salons, and other indoor city facilities. Residents will also stop having to show proof of vaccination or recent negative test results at outdoor events with 5,000 or more attendees within the city. But even as the city lifts the requirement, individual businesses can choose to still ask patrons for their vaccine cards. Next, I'll pass it on to Grace.
Okay, so next I'll be talking about booster shots. So let's start with the terminology that will help you better understand the vocabulary of COVID-19 vaccines. So let's start with fully vaccinated, which means you got your primary vaccine series, where you have complete at least 2 doses of Pfizer or Moderna, and then 1 dose of Johnson & Johnson. And then boosted or up to date means you received your first booster. So I'll be talking about booster shots available. So in this chart, you will see that people ages 18 and up can get the Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson booster shots. The Pfizer booster is available and recommended for everyone ages 12 and up. So the benefit of the second booster shot is that it provides extended protection against COVID-19 and protects against new variants. As of March 29th, the following groups are eligible for a second booster shot after waiting at least 4 months after the initial booster shot. And these people are people over ages 50 and older, people ages 12 and older who are moderately to severely immunocompromised, and people 18 to 49 ages who received the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine and their first booster shot. So, as you can see in this chart, there's some details to know which the booster shots are available to whom, and the initial ones are Pfizer, Moderna, and J&J. They all have booster shots available to adults 18 and up. Pfizer and Moderna are recommended over J&J because they are FDA approved, and children ages 12 and 17 can also get Pfizer. If you receive Pfizer or Moderna for your original vaccine series, you should wait 5 months after your second dose to get the booster. If you got J&J, you can also get your booster shot after 2 months. And you can mix and match brands. So if you got Pfizer for your vaccine, you can also get Moderna for your booster. And even if you got J&J for your vaccine, you're still encouraged to get Pfizer or Moderna for your booster. Next is Ken.
Yeah, next I'll be talking about the second booster shot locations. So the LA County health officials said second booster doses will be available to eligible individuals starting Wednesday at the following locations: Eugene A. Oregon Park in East LA, Ted Watkins Memorial Park in South LA, Balboa Sports Complex in Encino, Commerce Senior Citizen Center, Market Street Center in Santa Clarita, Palmdale Oasis Park Recreation Center, and Norwalk Arts and Sports Complex.
So that pretty much wraps up the latest mandates on current mask and policy, vaccines, and booster shots. All information discussed is retrieved from LA County Department of Public Health, CDC, and HRSA websites to reflect the current guidelines. I hope all of you who viewed this live segment video will learn something new about the COVID-19 pandemic and take away useful information for a better understanding during this difficult time. A recording of this live IG section will later on be available on Asian American Advancing Justice LA social media platforms, including Facebook and Instagram. Thank you again for listening and dropping by. Bye.